Alright, hey guys, what's up? This is Kyle here doing a review of Raw. Because Raw was 3 hours tonight, I'm just finished watching it and I can't remember everything within the 3 hour span. So I'm only going to mention a few things that I can remember fresh off my mind at the end of the show. And some of the things I may mention may be out of order of how the show was placed. Before I get into that, Jerry the King Lawler had legitimately fainted during the live show tonight. He's at a hospital, and before the show ended, they gave us a last-minute update saying that Jerry Lawler, he is in the hospital. His heart and his heart is stable. It's beating on its own. He's breathing. Everything is stabilized. But they're going to get an X-ray of his brain and his chest. So hopefully Jerry the King Lawler can recover from this, and hopefully this will teach the WWE a lesson and stop putting Jerry Lawler and other old people who are too old getting in the ring and getting in the ring with the young guys and trying to take bumps, because they can't take the bumps anymore because they're too old. Hopefully Vince will learn this lesson and will stop this. And in my personal opinion, I just think it's really a shame, and I think it's cheap. I think it's lazy. It's bad booking, and I think it's lazy, creative decisions being made where you have to have a commentator who's pretty well over the age of 60 to wrestle in the ring to draw heat and try to disperse heat on your heel talent. I think that's lazy booking and lazy creative decisions being made on WWE's part for a case like that, because they did the same thing with Miz and using Jerry Lawler to get the Miz more heat, and the bloodbath he got from Punk 2 weeks ago in the steel cage match, just absolutely ridiculous. So I hope Jerry the King Lawler recovers and the WWE will stop using old people who can't take bumps anymore in the ring. Okay, but on to the show. The show was in Canada tonight, so Bret Hart was the special guest host, which was awesome. The crowd just absolutely loved it. CM Punk comes out, interrupts Bret Hart, cuts a promo on him, a really good promo, good way to open up the show. After that, we get into the first match. First match was Kofi Kingston and R-Truth against Antonio Cesaro and The Miz. This match was alright. Kingston and Truth getting the victory. After that, we got into a funny segment with Sheamus and David Otunga, pretty much and discussing the disbandment of Sheamus's Brogue Kick and stuff like that, and having his lawyer. Funny segment. I thought it was enjoyable. Ryback came out, squashed Heath Slater. Well, I thought it was a good squash match. I enjoyed this. At least it wasn't sloppy like it was last week with Jack Swagger. So a good squash match, and what I thought. And he's getting over. The people were literally like popped a little bit for him when his music hit. We got into the match with CM Punk and Randy Orton, which was a good match. It started off really good. Dolph Ziggler ends up coming in the ring, attacking Randy Orton, just throwing the match out. Jerry Lawler makes the save, and the match ends up becoming a tag match with Orton and King against Punk and Dolph Ziggler. Orton and Dolph Ziggler end up winning because Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Paul Heyman comes out and escorts CM Punk away, so Orton and Lawler end up getting the victory. Got a quick Divas match. Eve looks amazing. Sheamus squashes Otunga. Del Rio makes Tyson Kidd tap out, which I thought was a decent match for the time they got. A good match. Okay match with Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes. Didn't really care for it too much. Cody really didn't. The match wasn't botchy, but you could really. Cody really wasn't playing off Mysterio's movesets very well tonight. And what I mean by that is that you could tell he really didn't. I won't say he didn't put much effort, but he really didn't play off his moves very well tonight. So maybe that's just an off night or something. We had a tag match with the Primetime Players against Kane and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan and Kane are the new number one contenders for the tag titles for the Sunday. I tell you, these guys really cannot catch a break, the Primetime Players. I mean, first they were edged to win the tag titles at SummerSlam, but they ended up getting denied because of, in my opinion, unrightfully getting reprimanded for something that AEW, their manager, or former manager, had a statement he had made. And then they did win a contenders match this past Friday night on SmackDown, but they were forced to put their contendership on the line, and they lost to Bryan and Kane. So, I mean, I really don't understand what's the point of WWE, like, keep teasing the Primetime Players and really not pulling the trigger on these guys and giving them the tag belts. I think it's really sad and really a shame that they aren't really giving these guys, but pulling the trigger on these guys. Kane and Daniel Bryan, I think, make an interesting tag team. Their demeanors and characters and the way they play off each other kind of reminds me of the relationship, the awkward, strange relationship between a Mankind and The Rock and Sock connection, except this one is more filled with hate and anger, and they can't control their hatred for each other. So it could be an interesting tag team of Daniel Bryan and Kane. Then we get on to the main segment with Bret Hart interviewing John Cena. Right away, people just booed the hell out of John Cena, and to the point where they're booing so loud that you couldn't even hear. They were booing over Bret Hart, who was speaking. You couldn't even hear him speak. And you could kind of tell, I mean, this is my opinion, but you can kind of tell John Cena was kind of kissing up a little bit to Bret Hart and really, paying compliments and stuff to him so that to kind of switch the crowd's reaction towards him, take the boos off of him and put the attention on Bret Hart for the people to cheer Bret Hart but not boo him and not pay attention to him. So that's my opinion on that. You can really tell. But CM Punk ends up interrupting the interview, drops a pipe bomb, making statements and claims that he's better than The Rock and Michaels and Austin and Bret Hart himself and all the other Attitude Era superstars, making some claims that I don't necessarily agree with, but yet still a good promo. I still enjoyed it for what it was. And then John Cena, like, wow, John Cena CM Punk lit a fire under John Cena's butt. John Cena cut, I mean, pretty much, I like to say, he cut a shoot promo of his own. He broke Keith Abel pretty much a little bit tonight, making some really, I thought, some pretty bold but yet truthful statements. Telling CM Punk that, saying that, pretty much calling him a one-hit wonder, saying that the only buzz he ever got was the night he beat him in Chicago last year, and promising everyone change, but it was all false and full of lies because the change that came wasn't due to edgy TV or ice cream bars, but the change only came with CM Punk becoming a bigger star. That's the only change that ever happened. And it said that the crowd was believing his lies and were blinded by his lies. Just really told some truthful stuff, I thought. That I agree with Cena on 100%. Cena cut I got to give credit. Cena cut a damn good promo tonight here on Raw. Really enjoyable. You can even look at Bret Hart himself and how Bret Hart was just when Punk and Cena were like nose to nose and face to face. Bret Hart was looking at it, and you can tell he was smiling on his face like, man, like this is. You could tell he could feel the intensity and just the enjoyment of the reaction between Punk and Cena. He was enjoying it himself. A really, really good ending segment to Raw. Out of the 9 weeks, Raw's been 3 hours now, extended to 3 hours. This is the first Raw for me that I've enjoyed out of its entirety 3 hour span. Most of the times since Raw's been 3 hours, you have the 2 hours that's been good, and then by the time you get to that third hour, it's kind of like it's dull until like the last segment of that third hour. But this is the first Raw where I've enjoyed at least the entire 3 hours, from the opening segment, the matches that had some good funny ha-ha moments, to the ending segment, which closed the deal. Good opening. Go home show for the pay-per-view Night of Champions, is what I thought. What do you guys think of of the promo, the ending promo in the show, what you thought about the entire show in its entirety, what you think about, do you think it was a good go-home show for the pay-per-view? The card itself for Night of Champions, I think, looks good. This looks to be probably the best pay-per-view WWE might have since Extreme Rules, which goes back to April, a couple of months back. This looks like it's going to be much better than SummerSlam, just by the matches that are stacked on the card alone. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Love everything I mentioned tonight. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Subscribe. Peace.